And we are back with some more Calgary Flames franchise mode in FHM 9. And the last one, we won the Stanley Cup for a second consecutive year. So why not go for it a third time? I mean, we certainly have a lot of guys who are past their prime here in Byram, Brisson, Mukmadulin, Coronado, Wright, Petal. But we also have a lot of younger guys such as Debu in goal, 23, Sheets, Antolovsky, Creech, Glockner, Pegamagabo, Elfring's only 26. So we have a good mix of everything right now. And I think as long as we maintain the salary cap and keep a good flow of prospects coming in, which is going to be the challenging part. Because unfortunately with what we're going to be drafting and with how poor the draft quality has been in these later years in the simulation, it's going to be quite tough to do that, unfortunately. So there may be times where we have to make trades in order to acquire those younger players, but we're in a pretty good position right now. We're in a good position to do that. And so with that, let's get underway with the year, I believe, 6? Yeah, this is year 6 that we're in. The year 6 offseason. And we're going to start that by signing Bowen Byram, assuming he doesn't want anything ridiculous. He wants 3 years, 4.7. 33. I would prefer not to have 3 years. He's making 5.4 right now. Well, it's 4.7. If I can reduce him to 2 years, that'd be great. All right, so if I go 4.75 for 2 years, he reduces his price. So it looks like he's set on 3 years here, unfortunately. I'm going to take him up to 4.8 for 2 years. All right, cool. I'm also going to re-sign some depth here in Donahue and Siliko. Now, I'm a little bit hesitant to re-sign someone like Max Hayes because he's already making $5 million. And last year, he only had 22 points, and the year before that, he only had 19. So, like, I'm thinking he's probably going to ask for, based off what he's making now, probably somewhere around, $6 million for 3 years. That's too much. That's too much for Hayes. Even if I negotiate down with him, like, that's way too much for a player of his caliber. He's getting released. I might go back after him in free agency if he lowers his price, but not for $6 million. That's way too much. Now, Connor Tilley, possibly? Yeah, He's asking for a reasonable amount. I mean, he didn't do too well last season, but just the fact that he's a 2.5-star player and only asking for that much, yes, I will do that. So I'll take him down to 1.2 if I can. All right, so let's check the finances now. What are we at for cap? It's looking like we'll have around 5 or 6 million cap if what this is saying is correct. So we could technically sign Hayes, but that's just way too much for a player of his caliber. I'd rather go out and spend on a couple of other depth players or maybe even get another player that's actually worthy of a $6 million contract, you know? And Zach Fitzgerald's contract is up for renewal. I think this is a very, very easy decision. Possibly the easiest coaching re-signing I've made so far I'm going to say in FHM 9, honestly, because, I mean, 2 cups in a row, how can you argue with that, right? So, yes, that is a definite re-signing for the maximum length of 4 years. There you go. Uh-oh, we have an incident with Fortman here. Looks like he's clashing with Hinton and Debu. All right, what players are expiring here? We got Beaudry, no. Botter, he's a veteran defenseman, actually. He's not even a prospect. He wants the minimum contract, though, so yeah, I'll give that to him. Chance de Lalonde, I will sign you. He's a 1.5-star ability. Lennon Drummond looks interesting. I think I'll sign him. Then you got Mark Fast, who's actually a 2-star defenseman in college, who is expiring at the end of August, so yeah, I'll sign him too. And it's time for the awards ceremony. For the Ted Lindsay and the Art Ross, you have Yuri Rausa of Detroit. For the Maurice Richard, you have Marek Baudin. For the Lady Bing, you have Samuel Lundqvist. For the Bill Masterton, you have Luke Hughes. For the Mark Messier Leadership Award, you have Thomas Chabot. And for the Jennings, you have Jeremy Debu of your Calgary Flames. Very nice. For the Hart, you have Rausa, Veilleux, and Kelsey. It is Rausa of Detroit. 102 points in 72 games played. The Conn Smythe goes to Doug Elfring of your Calgary Flames. I mean, that was pretty much given, right? He had 27 points in 18 games. I don't think anyone else even came close during the playoffs here, as we check once more. Yeah. I mean, 27-17. That wasn't even going to be close. And with how Debu did, 925. I mean, he's the closest to who I would say might have surpassed Elfring, but yeah, Elfring just put up way too good of a performance to be denied the Conn Smythe. And actually, now that I think of it, I don't think I ever checked the rest of the roster's playoff stats. You have 17 points for Creech and Petal and Wright, 16 for Muse, 14 for Pegamagabo, Meehan, and Coronado. So really just an all-around team effort here. Byram and Brisson with 13 points, 10 for Bernier and Hayes. Just a very, very good all-around performance in the playoffs. Getting back to the awards ceremony, I do things a little out of order here. The Calder Trophy between Stipple, Makachek, and Reynolds. You have John Reynolds of Washington. And for the Norris, between Veilleux, Isaacson, and Virag, you have Xavier Veilleux of Chicago. And the Selke between Hemming, Varconi, and Paulson. So Elfring's not up this year. You have Hannes Paulson of Winnipeg. And for the Vezina between Petrick, Bodinger, and Hart. So Debut not up for the Vezina this year. You have Carter Hart still killing it there in Chicago. 36 years of age. And the best GM between Scott Davidson and Dorian, you have Kyle Davidson of Chicago. And between Younger, Fitzgerald, and Harold, come on, Fitzgerald's Peter Harold of Chicago. What? There's certainly some shenanigans going on there. And the last day of the 2034-35 season, we got all the positive categories, except of course for Manager of the Year. No negative categories, obviously. And the total season score, 45. Bringing our total career score so far to 386. And I think I'll put some of these points into, I'll go with tactics up to 15, in-game tactics also to 15, and then motivation to 12. All right, so we're on July 1st. Let's see what we need. We have Debut and Miley in goal. I think we're good there. Actually, we could use a third stringer. Yeah, we could use a third stringer. Defensively, you have Muse, Sheets, Bernier, Byram, Gluckner, Mukamadulin, Krulik, Fast, and Boder. We're good there. At forward, you have 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So we're good in numbers at forward, but do we want to upgrade anywhere? Possibly. Gu Yao, maybe, on the Calgary Rangers could be called up. Got some decent ratings all around. So I guess we'll see how he does. And then there's also, not to mention, there's Maximilian Mooney, who we left in the AHL to develop, and he's at 3-star ability right now. So definitely going to at least see what he's about. So we have 10 capable NHL defensemen at this point. So we honestly might have to trade a defenseman before the season starts at this rate. And where does that leave us salary-wise? We're at 81.5, so we're good on salary for the moment. Yeah, I think all we really need here is a depth goaltender, a third stringer. So I'll just sign a 2-star goaltender here. Fortunately, there's not really any great options here as far as 2-star goaltenders go, but there is Isaac Sorkvist, who in the AHL last year in 21 games played had a .930 save percentage. So that's at least somewhat promising. And I believe that will just about do it, honestly, because there's really not much we need here. And considering we've won the cup 2 times in a row, we may as well just try it again with this almost exactly the same roster. Minus Highs and... was there anyone else? I think that was it. It was just Highs who left, right? Yeah, he was the only player of significance that left. So I think we're good to go here, honestly. And I'll see how much is he asking for free agency. 5 mil? Nah, that's still not entirely worth it. I mean, he was making that much before. He was making like 4.7, so that's not too much of an increase from what he was making previously, but in my opinion, it's not worth the cap trouble, especially with the minimal point production that he's brought recently. I don't think it's worth it. If he went back to scoring 45 or 50 points a season like he did his first season here, then yeah, I would say that's worth it, but not as he's been recently. So I think we just move on here. All right, we are here at the draft lottery on July 5th. So here we go. Obviously, we're not in it, but we'll take a look at it anyway. At 16, you have Arizona, 15, San Jose, 14, St. Louis, 13, Anaheim, 12, Minnesota, 11, Florida, 10, Dallas, 9, Tampa, 8, Toronto. So far, the Rangers and the Avalanche move up. At number 7, you have Philly. At number 6, you have LA. At 5, you have Buffalo. 4, you have Washington. 3 is Columbus. And 1 is the Colorado Avalanche. All right, here we go. Draft time. So we are picking, I would imagine, last. Yes, indeed, number 32. So here we go. What is the first pick? We have Matt Phillips going to Colorado. Already looks pretty good. 1.5-star ability, 5-star potential. And let's simulate up to our pick. I don't think there's anything I want to do until then. Okay, so at number 32, we do have a 2.5-star goaltender in Ladislav Pink. I don't know. Do we need a goaltender? I don't think so. I mean, we have Debut, 23 years of age, 3 mil for 5 years. I mean, I guess it couldn't hurt, but not exactly high on him. Especially when you have a 1.5-star Jonathan Hedquist, who is looking pretty good, honestly. Mental ratings aren't where I'd like them to be. Physically, he's kind of as well. But the offensive and defensive categories are already kind of up there. And he was actually projected to be picked at number 2. Now, I know mock draft doesn't mean everything. In fact, it should probably be taken with a grain of salt. But I think he could get somewhere. I really think if he is able to get those mental ratings up there, physical ratings a little bit more, he'll be good. Like, he's already skilled enough to play in the NHL for sure. It's just a matter of getting his mental and physical up there. Pink was projected to be taken at 138, so I might be able to get him later. So just based off that, I think I'm going to take Hedquist now, unless there's somebody else who stands out here. I'm not going to take them now, but a couple guys I want to keep an eye on are Todd Scoville and Ryan Trevelin. They're both pretty well-rounded. Trevelin's offensive ratings are already basically NHL serviceable. Scoville, there's nothing that really stands out about him. I mean, his offensive read is good, but he's just very well-rounded for an 18-year-old, 6'3". I think he could be a pretty good guy to keep an eye on. So I'm going to keep Scoville and Trevelyan on the draft list just so I make sure I don't lose track of them. And hopefully they don't get picked before next pick, because I know I'm not taking them now. I would definitely take Hedqvist over both of them, but still interesting nonetheless. Yeah, I'm taking Hedqvist here. Welcome to the Calgary Flames, Jonathan Hedqvist. So let's simulate up to the next pick. And pink is still there, really. So the other two that I wanted went in both went in the second round. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Trevelyan went like literally 2 picks later. And then Scoville went 2 picks after him. So we would have had to trade for 2 early second round picks there in order to get both of them. But now, at least with them 2 out of the way, that makes our second round pick pretty easy, because there's only 1 2-star, a goaltender in Jake Lane, and there's 1 2.5-star still in pink, or pinch, however it's pronounced. And then everyone after that is 1.5 star below. So that makes this decision pretty easy. Welcome to the Calgary Flames, Ladislav Pinch. And down the third round now, we are down to 1.5 star players. Not looking pretty. I'll keep scrolling for a bit here, but I think we're probably just going to end up simulating the rest of the draft. Yeah, I'm going to have the computer finish the draft here. All right, so that is the draft. There is still Stoll, Amirkanov, and Torka as 2-star players that we can sign. But I did mention I want Torka to stay over there in the KHL for right now. Matthew Stoll, almost in the same situation as Torka. I want his mental ratings to get better, if at all possible. But Amirkanov might not be a bad one to bring over. He's got a lot of ratings that are already at least serviceable. And he's a 2-star ability. Yeah, I think I'll bring Amirkanov over, see what he's about. Kivilati might not be a bad one either. Got a lot of ratings in the green. And if he does come up as a depth player, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because everything is at least decent. I think I'll get Kivilati up here too. Hedqvist, I want him to get some more seasoning mentally and physically as well. As far as prospect signings go, I think that is about it. Oh, look at this. The draft this upcoming year is actually not looking too bad. You got a 5-star center, you got 3 4.5 stars, and a defenseman, a center, and a goaltender. I mean, compared to some of these past drafts that we've had, this definitely looks like it's going to be the best one for the top 5 so far. As for whether it will be good for us or not, well, probably not, considering we're likely not going to be anywhere near the top 5. But still, good to know that the future of the league is in good hands. And with that, I believe we can advance up to the preseason of year number 7. And into the Hockey Hall of Fame are Victor Hedman, Nikita Kucherov, Gabriel Landeskog, and Brad Marchand. Oh no. No. Antolovsky suffers a setback. Oh man. How long is he still out for? 2-3 weeks? Okay. So he'll be back like right when the regular season starts then. Okay, that's not that bad. I thought it was going to be like another month or something. All right, we do need to make a few cuts here. 2 on D and then 2 at forward. So I'm going to say fast and, man, I don't know. Probably Krulak, because Mooney's a 3-star talent now and he did pretty well defensively. And again, his mental ratings aren't great, so I don't know. I'm just hoping Krulak doesn't get claimed, because he was a pretty good backup defenseman last year. So I prefer to hold on to him if I can, but we are going to have to send him down. And at forward, I'm going to send down Kivilati to the AHL, and then probably Gu Yao. Get that 49 defensive grade there. All right, so we are now at 23. We have a full roster. We are at 77 million in salary cap, so we are good to go there. So here's our roster going into the regular season of year number 7. In that, you have Dubois and Miley. On defense, you have Muse, Sheets, Bernier, Mooney, Byram, Gluckner, and Mukmadulin. And at forward, you have Elfring, Pegamagabo, Creech, Brisson, Coronado, Wright, Meehan, Petal, Fortman, Hinton, Tilly, Chivetti, Amirkanov, and De La Land. And then, of course, on the injury list, you have Antolovsky. As for who will be coming off the roster when Antolovsky comes back, that will solely depend on how well everyone plays. It could be De La Land, it could be Amirkanov. I don't know. Those guys are going to have to battle it out. So we'll just have to see who the odd man out is at that point. With that, I think we can... Let's just simulate 1 month and see how things go for the start of the season. All right, Antolovsky is back. We're currently 5-5 on October 29th. And a couple of nasty losses here, honestly. As we take a look back here, 7-5 against San Jose, 5-1 against Tampa, 5-0 against Chicago, and then 7-4 against Montreal just recently. So certainly some concerning performances early on here. So who's going to be coming out for Antolovsky? It's probably going to be, it's going to be Amirkanov, or no, De La Land. Yeah, De La Land was worse. So we're going to be sending him down to the AHL. Oh wait, did he have to clear waiver? Yeah, he had to clear waiver, whatever. He's a 1.5 star player. I'm not going to fuss over that. So Antolovsky, welcome back to the active roster, and we're going to be made all the better for that because he is a 4.5-star ability. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he plays like it. I mean, he hasn't shown me much in terms of point production to be a 4.5-star player, but I guess he does contribute quite a bit defensively. So we'll see how much that helps. Oh, and Henry Muse is actually suspended right now. 6 games, really? And that's from October 23rd. So that's probably more like, what's it been since then? It's been 3 games. That was like a 9-game suspension. Wow. What did he do? I would like to know what he did. Unfortunately, the game doesn't tell me that. Yeah, it says defenseman Henry Muse has been suspended for an incident in the last 8 game. He'll be unavailable for the team's next 8 games. See, I would like to know why he was suspended for 8 games, nonetheless. I would like to know what validated an 8-game suspension here. I hope they include that in either an update or an FHM 10, because that is definitely something that is needed. And since there's no reason, it's basically just suspended for RNG reasons. So yeah, they gotta add that for sure. Ooh, we've had some nasty losses here recently. We're currently 5-7 after 1 month. That's not pretty, especially in this division. Because if this division is anything like what it's been in the past few years this year, then we're in for some trouble. This is the kind of start we're having. Oof, yikes, Krulik, my dude, at 29 defensive grade, really? And I guess that will happen in games that you lose 6-1 and 3-1, but that's quite ugly. Was he on the ice for like every goal against or something? To the game by game? Yeah, -4 in that one game. And right, that was his first game in the NHL this year. So yeah, I doubt that 29 is gonna hold, but still not a good first impression to start this year for Krulik. Coronado's good. 12 points in 12 games. Bernier with 9, Pegamago and Petal with 8. 6 for Brisson, Elfring, Sheets, Chevetti, Byram, and Wright. 5 for Meehan and Glockner. 4 for Muse and Creech. 3 for Tilly and Hinton. 2 for Fortman and Mukamadulin. 1 for Antolovsky and Amirkanov. Now, what I'm concerned about, I'm thinking Debut and or Miley are, yeah. 898 save percentage for Debut and an 831 for Evan Miley. What the heck happened here, guys? I mean, Debut had a 907 last year in 56 games. And 31 games played last year for Miley and 930. So all of a sudden this year, I mean, I know it's only 2 games played for Miley and only 11 games for Debut, but still, that is quite concerning, especially this early on. Yeah, if they keep having performances like that, then this season might not work out the way we wanted it to. And unfortunately right now, it looks like the biggest issue is the goaltending. So I don't want to give up on Debut this year because he's carried us through some great years, including 2 Stanley Cups, obviously. So I'm not going to just get rid of him like that. But that is definitely a concerning start for Jeremy Debut. Maybe get a different backup goaltender instead of Miley if he continues on this pace. I mean, I hate to do that after he had such a good season last year, but, you know, that's last year. This is this year. Cannot afford to fall behind early on like this. Maybe replace him with Sorkvist. Might have to do that because Sorkvist has a 934 so far in 2 games played with the Calgary Wranglers. So that is something I probably consider at the very least. So already kind of off to a shaky start here are the Calgary Flames. All right, we'll go 1 more month here because I believe in Debut. As for Miley, I mean, I hope he can keep up what he was doing last year, but it doesn't look like it right now. So if those 2 can get their act together, I think the rest of the team will just pull itself together automatically. Because we're getting some pretty good grades here and we're scoring at a decent rate. In fact, let's check the team stats. Goals for per game, we're top half of the league. I mean, it's not as good as it could be for sure. We're 3.17, 16th in the league, but decent enough. But it's that goals against per game that is concerning. Obviously, goaltending a big issue right now. Faceoffs, where are we? Okay, we could improve on faceoffs for sure. 47.3, 28th in the league. That's probably as low as I've ever seen a team of mine in the faceoffs, honestly. Usually the teams we build here on this channel are pretty good at faceoffs, but unfortunately does not seem to be the case at the moment. Power play, oh dear. 25th in the league, 12.5%. Yeah, that'll contribute to lack of success. And penalty kill, also pretty abysmal, 76.3. So that's unfortunate. I mean, obviously, if you fix the goaltending, then penalty kill will get better as a result automatically, but lack of scoring goals on the power play and the goaltending definitely need to be addressed. That being said, though, it's only been a couple of games for Miley, but he slid in 6 and 5 in the 2 games that he was in. So I don't know. Do I just send him down and then call up Bjorkust? All right, you know, I'll simulate 1 more month. That might have just been a start of the season slump for them. You know, it's celebrating 2 Stanley Cups in a row. That certainly will take its toll. But now that we are in the regular season, we do have to focus up here. So I'll give the boys 1 more month. If I see more or less the same, then we're probably going to have to make changes in the next one. All right, we're now on December 1st. We are 16-9-1. Things are mostly under control now. I believe we only had a few losses there in that month, particularly the one against Anaheim right there, 5-1. That was the one that was really concerning, but everything else I'd say was pretty good. I know there was an overtime or shootout loss in there somewhere. That might have been Anaheim? Yeah, Anaheim. Okay. So we got an overtime loss against Anaheim, but we went on a pretty good stretch in this month. We did have a 6-game winning streak from Dallas to Edmonton. And then after that overtime loss against Anaheim, we went 4 for our next 5. So I'd say that was a pretty good month. I don't think there's any reason to change things up at the moment. We'll check on goaltenders real quick. All right, good. So Dubu's back in form with a .912 save percentage in 25 games played. Millet with the 3 games played, .867. So obviously better than what he had before with that .831. But it doesn't look like coach is going to be playing him too much based off his stats. So I might send him down and see if we can get that other guy playing better. In terms of points, you have Pekka Magabo with 20. You have 18 for Petal and Coronado, 16 for Bernier, 15 for Wright, 14 for Brisson, 13 for Creech, 12 for Meehan, Elfring, and Glockner. Only 12 for Elfring, really. So, I mean, I know he's a defensive player, but he definitely seems to slow down at times with the scoring, unfortunately. But he's still gold. He's still absolute gold. I'm keeping him no matter what. Sheets with 11 points, as well as Byram, 10 for Chivetti and Fortman, 9 for Antolovsky, 8 for Muse, 7 for Mooney, 6 for Tilly and Hinton, and then 4 for Mukhamadullin, 2 for Mirkanov. So it seems like we're not doing too bad. Let's take a look at the team stats. Goals for per game, 3.19. We are 14th in the league for that. And goals against per game, much, much better. We are at 2.85. 11th in the league. Before that was like 3.7 something, if I'm not mistaken. Power play still not great. It's better though, at 14.6. Penalty kill, yeah, looking much better, 84.1. That's what I thought. If the goaltending fixes itself, then the penalty kill is going to fix itself. And obviously, given Dubu's recent performances, that .912 save percentage, the penalty kill was able to get back up there. Although the power play does concern me a bit. Anyway, I think that's about it for this one. And the next one, we will continue on with year number 7, and then we will make our way into the year 7 playoffs.